Namaste everyone. Welcome to the Advaita Vedanta Satsang House. The ongoing sessions are Aparokshanubhuti offered by Bendoji. And as a reference text, there's one pinned up above, which is Swami Vimuktananda's English translation of Aparokshanubhuti text. The other reference that we have is in the Sanskrit text offered by Acharya Vidyaranya, but that's only in Sanskrit. We can think of all these 29 sessions and the ongoing sessions as Bindoji's effort to give a better translation into English, plus the offering of the Sramana Manana and the Vidyasana. For any further, if you want to catch up on all the talks, you can use Advaita Retold YouTube channel where these talks are cataloged. Alternatively, you can use the replays in Clubhouse and catch up on the talks. If you guys keeping notes, I'll close the hand raising and chat for about an hour, after which I'll open it for any follow-up questions or discussions if you have to follow up with Bindoji. With that, over to you, Bindoji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash. Welcome. Namaste, Rama. Namaste, Revati. Welcome to all those who are joining late also. Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrabhyo Vamsharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutravashya Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhakine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Aparokshanubhuti. Sri Harim Paramanandam Ubadeshtaram Ishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. So, we were continuing our discussion on the Vidyaranya's commentary for the verse 87. The verse 87 says that Evam Atmani Avidyataha Dehadhyasa hi jayate Saha eva Atma Parijnanat liyate cha Paramatmani. The ignorance is the reason for the delusion for the body to be identified as the self, Atman. And this misunderstanding that the body as the self will get dissolved or removed, that delusion or the misapprehension will get disappeared or dissolved or elided or in the Parabrahman once the knowledge arises through self-realization. So when we discussed this in the last class, Saha eva deha adhyasaha eva atma parijnanat brahma atma aikyat sakshatkarat paramatmani atjnana tatkaryam rihite prayogam abhinne brahmani liyate. So detailed discussion was done on Brahma Atma Aikya Sakshatkara and that how it is helping in removing the identification with the body as the self, and the one who is doing this through the knowledge Sakshatkarat. Atma Ajnana Tatkarya Rahite Pratyad Atmani Liyate. Ajnana Tatkarya Rahite. So this was the word which was pending for discussion today. Ajnana Tatkarya Rahite. That means ignorance and the effects of it. Now, when we analyzed it in the last class, we found that due to absence of the knowledge who we are identifying ourselves with the body. Body means here the mind-body complex, or that individuality. Now, why does this happen this way? Why should there be a non-apprehension of the self? Why should it happen in the first place? If I am the Brahman or Atman, I should be knowing about that all the time. I should be in the knowledge of who I am, and I need not have to undergo any training, teaching, listening to the lectures, etc., to come to know who I am. Because if I am Brahman or Atman, that should be my first knowledge. That should be my Sakshatkara. But why does this happen? Karya, Karana. Now we have to understand that Brahma Swarupena Avatishtate Nahi Adhishtanam Vina Aropitasya Swarupamasti. Chakarat Adhyasaha Karanam Ajnanam Apiliyate. Now, the word Adhyasa is used by Acharya Shankara and subsequently by everyone in the Advaita Vedanta philosophy. Now the word Adhyasa is what is called superimposition in English. In Sanskrit we call it as Atasmin Tad Buddhi. That means that feeling or that knowledge on something which is not that. That is the literal translation of the Atasmin Tad Buddhi. What does it mean? Tad Buddhi means that feeling or that knowledge. The knowledge of snake, let us take for example. Atasmin, which is not snake. It can be a garland, it can be a rope, or it can be a crack on the floor, or it can be a twig which is on the floor. But the shape confused me and I started thinking that it is a snake. A thing which is not snake now being thought as snake is what is called Adhyasa. We are not the body, physical body. But Tad Buddhi, the physical body or the mental physical body complex is who I am, is what is our experience. Now, when we look into this, why did this feeling that I am the body-mind complex come up, or karana, the reason for it? The Advaita example is Adhyasa, because not knowing the body-mind complex as an object of my knowledge or my own consciousness, my own awareness. It is an object for me. and it is undeniably an object. For me, I am the subject. When I am the subject, my thoughts, feelings, emotions are known to me. Therefore, they are known, not the knower. Same way, anything happening to the physical body is known to me. Therefore, the physical body is known, not the knower. But we feel that the physical body, mental body is the knower. Why did that happen? The body-mind complex become a knower is because there are two reasons for it. One is not knowing our own true nature as we are the conscious awareness, the subject, the sakshi for knowing everything. And everything known is separate from me. But here what happens is that knowing oneself doesn't take place. That is, the tongue cannot taste itself, or the eye cannot see itself, or the ear cannot hear anything itself, or the index finger cannot touch itself, or anything like that. That is what is called Swarupa Adhisthana, or abiding in the true nature. Therefore, my nature being knowing, that cannot have a subject-object dichotomy or duplicity or duality to know myself as an object. But when we started experiencing the world, we started using a tool called the Antakarana, or the inner instrument of knowing, mind-body, mind-intellect complex. All the knowledge about the otherness, it can be anything that this thing can. Thoughts, feeling, etc. in the mind itself. The otherness, when it is happening, it is known in the mind. When the otherness is known, being known in the mind, the mind by itself cannot know. This we discussed in detail in the last class, giving the example of the deep sleep. So when the mind is in itself, or when the mind is not minding or doing any apprehension or understanding or knowing of anything other than itself, mind becomes apparently non-functional or non-operational. So when the mind is non-operational in our deep sleep, we say we know nothing. So when the nothingness was there, we could not deny our own existence or our own being, the knower of nothingness. But since the mind is not operational, we could not say that we knew ourselves also. So in the Chandogya Upanishad, there is a statement Sadi sambadhya na viduhu sadi sambadhyamahe. Sadi sambadhya means sat in the, as being the substratum. Sambadhya, having become one with the sat as a substratum, the mind became one with the substratum. Na viduhu sadi sambadhyamahe. We are not able to know through the mind our own true nature, because mind has merged with its own nature. Because mind, when it is apprehending things external, the mind operates as waker and dreamer. We have the phenomenal world of the waking, we have the phenomenal world of the dream happening at that time. And we say that we are the waker, and the dream is an experience of the waker. Deep sleep is the experience of the waker, because we identify ourselves as the waker with the body-mind-intellect complex. But when Upanishad says that in the deep sleep, actually the waker and the dreamer, which were experiences of the mind, when not experiencing anything, that mind itself becomes no mind, or mind which is one with the self. Therefore, Sati Sambadhya na viduhu Sati Sambadhyamahe is from that point of view that having one become one with the Sat. We never knew we were Sat at that time, but we say that I knew nothing, I had a good sleep. That is our transactional verbal usage. Now, to understand this, Sati Sambadhya na viduhu Sati Sambadhyamahe, we have to go back in the Chandogya Upanishad to 6th chapter, 2nd Brahmana, 1st mantra. I have given the link immediately after my namaskara in the chat. It is in the chat. It is there because chat is now closed, so you can go to the website. It is Prakash. Can you open the chat for a few minutes? Those who want to go there.
Sure, Manoj. Chat is open now, Manoj.
See it. Yeah, it is there in that the website is starting with Wisdom Library or wisdomlibrary.org, Hinduism book, Chandogya Upanishad, English document. That is the second chat in the chat book thing. If you use that link, we'll go to that place where we are now there. Okay. So please don't send chat now, because I'll not be reading, nor will Prakash will be monitoring it. When we are in that web page, I'll read the mantra, what is given. This is the dialogue between the father and the son before giving Tattvamasi. This is the place where it starts giving the explanation before saying what is that Tattvamasi, that you are that. Now, you are that. What is that is what is being starting to be explained in this mantra. Sadeva Somya idam agra asid ekameva dvitiyam. Tadekah ahuhu asadeva agre asid ekameva dvitiyam. Tasmat asataha sajjayata. That is the mantra Sanskrit. The English is Saumya means dear son. Sat eva agre asid. Sat alone. Sat means existence. Now we should understand that the existence what we are familiar is existence of objects with names and forms. But existence as a fundamental principle or the substratum for everything. Just as the space is a substratum for everything we know, they all are in the space. But the space is also in something, because we say space exists. Space is there. So the isness of space has to be in something. Therefore, it is not the existence which we are all familiar, which is being referred here, but existence or the Sat as a fundamental principle for the whole phenomenal world of experiences to come up or to project or to become from that. That is what is the word Sat means here. Now the same Sat in the Taittiriya Upanishad has been referred for Brahma. Satya Jnanam Anandam Brahma. Satyam. The word Sat is referred as Satyam, both being the same, or Satchit Ananda is being referred to Brahman, where we discussed in detail about Sat is not different from the Chit or the knowledge, Jnanam, or Anandam or Anantam, or these are all the same indication to the same thing, which is the primordial existence called Brahman. So Sat eva agre asid. Agre means in the beginning. Now, in the beginning means even before the time has started, not there. So before the time itself, ekam eva advitiyam. Ekam eva. See, there are three words here. Ekam means one. Eva means alone. Advitiyam means non-dual. These are the literal translations of the words. But each one of them is pregnant with a experience which we should be able to correlate and feel it within our own being. Ekam means one. Eva means alone. So one alone. What does it, if it is one, and why should it be mentioned as alone? With a corollary stating that Advitiyam means non-dual, without a second. So to understand or feel the experience of this, or feel that is what I am, when the end of the dialogue, when the father says, Tattvamasi, that you are, means it is applicable to you, me, and everyone. So that is what we are, which is one alone without being a second. Now this is very, very intriguing statement, but taken very lightly when the translations are being done. First and foremost thing is that alone is the word which we need to dive deep into. Alone means we cannot have two there or something separate from her. And if I am that, I have to be in a state where I alone is present. I cannot have anything else. Not even my thoughts, not even my feelings, not even my experience, not even being there. I cannot have that. Anything, if I am using verbally, a potency for a dichotomy or a duality will come. So that is what is called Sat, or the existence which we need to understand as our true nature. The word Advitiyam in that statement is to ward off a potency to know that. It is not because there is there is something else to remove, there is nothing other than that. No. Even in being itself, to know itself, or that I am that experience cannot be there when I use the word Advitiyam. Because only when it is a Dvitiyam or this otherness, I can say that I am knowing or I am experiencing. So knowing and experiencing, I am using it interchangeably. So when I am using the word I am experiencing something, I have to be there, the thing which I am experiencing, even if it is my own nature. It has to be separate from me. How can my own nature be separate from me? Therefore, it has to be given as Advitiyam. But at the same time, being Satyajnanam Anandam, or that existence which is knowledge in nature or consciousness in nature, and Anantam means infinity, is to show that there is nothing other than that. Only then it can be an infinity. If even an iota or a speck is there, then it is not infinite in nature. That speck will limit and say that everything except the speck. So it is still not infinity. So when I am saying that Satyajnanam Anandam Brahma, that experience, that is my true nature. But at the same time, I am Eka, I am alone there, Eva, absolutely, without a moment of secondness or even a time or space or any type of ideology which I can bring it in my mind for the otherness is absent absolutely. This being the first statement, the father says that Tat ekaha ahuhu asadeva agre asit ekameva advitiyam. Some said because it is not experiential or not knowable or not being in a condition to say something was there, they called it that asat. Asat means non-existence. If it is there, it should have been experiential. Since it is not experiential, nothing is there, nothingness is what was there. This was the statement even before the Shunyavada by the Buddhists. Then there were Nayayikas, Vaisheshikas, and there were certain even, Charvakas and other. There are a lot of philosophers who, advocate for this, saying that nothingness, there is nothing before that when there's thing. So that nothingness was also in the nature of Ekameva Dvitiyam, because it is not experiential. So you cannot say whether it is Sat or Asat. Whether you call it as Sat or Asat doesn't make a difference, because it is Ekameva Dvitiyam, it is non-experiential. But if that was in the beginning, but here now I am experiencing the world of phenomena. This phenomenon world is being experienced. It has to come from that. Tasmat asataha sajjayate. Therefore, asataha, from non-existence, existence came. Sajjayate. How can existence come from non-existence? Our experience everywhere is that there has to be something from which something else can come. From void or in the absence of something, there is no potency or possibility for something to come up. No tree can come without a seed. No droplet of water can come without a cloud, which itself is in water form. Or any other thing which you think, a pot and mud, gold and ornaments, or anything for that matter, if we think that from non-existence, existence cannot come. But here the word is, Upanishad says that, therefore from non-existence, existence came, emerged, appeared, or whatever word you want to use it. How can it be non-existence? Shankaracharya in the Bhashya says that the non-existence there is the absence of names and forms. The names and forms were absent. It doesn't mean that Brahman or Atman or the fundamental principle with which we are all made. Our true nature was absent there. It was non-existent. In another way which we can say is that Jnanam, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. We have another word, Jnanam. So Sat, when it is being not known as Sat, it can be in the form of non-apprehension. Because apprehension when it is not possible, knowing when it is not possible, what is there is non-apprehension. That can be the word asat here. From the non-apprehension, sat jayate means the existences and experiences and apprehensions or knowing took place. So the cause for the non-existence to come is dependent on the process in which we have to understand that. From a state of non-apprehension, but existence. Because from a non-existence, existence cannot come. Therefore, existence has to be there. But at the same time, the Upanishads say that non-existent, asat sajjayate. From the asat state, sat state appears. Means from the non-apprehension point of being, apprehension or experiences or objects are phenomenon appears. The next one, the next page, the same thing. Second mantra says, Kutastu kalu saumya evam syat iti hovacha katam asataha sajjayate iti. The father is asking, oh Saumya, oh my dear son, what is the proof that is there for this, that from nothing something emerged? Rather, before this world of phenomena came into being, dear son, there was only existence, one without a second. How can this asataha sajjayate? Some people are saying that it is not possible. Sattu eva saumya idam agre asit egameva dvitiyam. So the father is establishing, reaffirming that it is the Satyajnanam Anandam Brahma or Sat Chit Anandam Brahma. That is the one which was there in the beginning, one without a second. So, in the case of Adhyasa, how does it? The third mantra beginning, only we have to take, we won't go into the full detail. Tad aikshata bahusyam prajayeti. The existent decided or willed. Aikshata means willed or desired or decided, or the volition in the existence, which is also consciousness. The consciousness decided, I shall be many and I shall be born. He then created the phenomenal world. Now, we will come back to our verse 87. Karanam, adhyasa karanam, ajnanam api liyate. When we know this phenomena is the reason why the Sat has now decided or willed or decided to become many. A lump of clay, when it becomes many pots and saucers or plates or lamps or etc., it doesn't become non-mud. The jar, the saucer, the plate and everything is mud only. Just as the lump of gold decides to become ornament, it doesn't become non-gold. Same way, when this Sat and Jnanam and Anandam Brahma, or the consciousness, existence consciousness decided to become many in the world of phenomena, the Sat aspect of that is not going anywhere else but be present in everything. Therefore, what happens is that in everything what we see in this world, we know it and transact it through the names and forms as the world. the house, the building, the tree, the mango, the fruit, the animal, you, me, all those things, everything in the phenomenal world, we are using names and forms. On the forms, we give the name. But they are all nothing but that Sat, which is now being called by the different names. So the dependency on the names and forms, Vajarampanam, Vikaro, Namadeyam, dependency on that makes us feel it is something different. So, atasmin tad buddhi, which I said is that feeling something different in something else. Like the snake being seen in the rope or the garland. We are now experiencing the phenomenal world, including you and me. This is the snake aspect of it, and the rope or the garland aspect is Sat and Jnanam. Satya Jnanam Anandam Brahma. So everything when it decided to become multiple names and forms, the lump of gold decided to become multiple names and forms of ornaments, or the pot or saucer, etc. by the mud, or the water decided to become the ocean, the waves, the froth, the cloud, the rain, the river, everything in that, nothing but water alone. Same is the case, Sat and Jnanam and Anantam is the aspect which is now being called by the names and forms by us, including us. It is we who is calling the names and forms. We are also Sat only. The existence and the knowledge aspect is there in every atom of the world. If it is not existing, we will not even know what is the subject or what is the thing we are referring to. If it is not having a property of being known, consciousness aspect of it, in it, the existence itself is being present as a presence of the object. We call it as Jnanam or Chit. Since the whole world is that only, there is ananyatvam, non-separation. There is nothing other than ekam eva. There is only one. Even when we are experiencing the name and form, the phenomenal world, what is there is only ekam eva. What is that? Sat and Jnanam. The existence and knowledge in multiple names and forms. So the multiple names and forms did not bifurcate or multiply that Sat and Jnanam which was there in the beginning. Like by becoming multiple ornaments, the gold did not become multiple things other than gold. Remaining as gold, it became multiple names and forms. Remaining the lump of mud, it became lamp, jar, etc. and multiple things. Remaining the wateriness as wateriness or the nature of water, it became the ocean, the waves, the cloud, the rain, the river, the lake, etc. So what happens is that we feel there is a world outside as karanam, means as an effect. This reason is the reason why we say there is a phenomenal world outside there. Because the gold ornaments are multiple in nature, or the metal which is becoming knife, spoon, etc. is multiple in nature. They are transactionally valid. They are effects. The gold effects is the gold ornaments. The water effect is the reason why it is the waves and the drops and the cloud and etc. So karyam, these are all called effects, has come from a karanam. And that karanam is none other than the Atma or Satya. So karane sati karyasya laya sambhavati. So what happens that the karane sati, the cause remains as it is. Sat and jnanam of Brahman remains as it is. Karyasya laya sambhavati. Now, the multiplicity of the phenomenal world as separate can be dissolved, merged, or understood as ekameva dvitiyam, one and the same. So we know that sarvam khalu idam brahma, all this is nothing but Brahman in the forms of names and forms. Tasmat atmajnanat eva sakarana karya adhyasa nivritti idi alam pallavitena. Therefore, by the knowledge, atmajnanat eva, by knowing what we are or what is our true nature, sakarana karya adhyasa nivritti, the cessation of the adhyasa, superimposition, sakarya, along with its cause and effects. There is no karya karana separately. Karana. Because karya karana is to be understood what is it is. The cause and effect experience for us, our logic, everything is dependent on one thing. That is what is called the waker's logic or mind or intellect. Only in the waking hours, when we use our tool of intellect, we have this logic for karya karana, cause and effect. My dream, I am not worried about the cause and effect. There is no question of cause and effect being discussed in the dream, because the instrument which was there, which is making me think about the cause and effect, is the instrument of the waker's mind. When that mind is not there in the dream, there is no question of logic, cause and effect which is being discussed in the dream. Of course, in the deep sleep, neither the waker mind nor the the dreamer's mind is there, nor the mind for, experiencing the effects. So effects are not there. Therefore, we do not even call it as cause and effect. We remain in our pure nature, Sat. This is what is being referred in the Chandogya Upanishad as being become one with the essence of our true nature in the deep sleep. We do not know we are in that being of consciousness and awareness as our existence. But it's not possible for us to experience, because experiencing is a phenomena of the cause and effect of the mind or the waker's intellect. That is not being present in the deep sleep. There is no cause and effect. Therefore, since the cause and effect is not there, there is no adhyasa also, no superimposition. We become one with our nature in our deep sleep. And from that, the deep sleeper decides to become many. It is the swabhava or the nature of the consciousness. Now I want to become, or now I want to experience the phenomenal world. The phenomenal world is not there outside. For it to say that I want to now go outside my deep sleep and experience the phenomenal world. Because in the deep sleep, it was ekameva dvitiyam. It was one and without a second. So if it had been in the deep sleep, the phenomenal world cannot be present and be there outside from the deep sleeper's point of view. It is only when we come to the waking, we call the other person, the third person experiencing, saying that when you were in deep sleep, I was experiencing the world. So he is talking, but we cannot understand that phenomena because it is our own projection where this phenomenal world and the third person who says that you were sleeping and the world was experienced by that person, that was from the point of view of the waker's mind only. That third party person who experienced and told that I experienced the world when you were deep sleep, that person is not present in my dream. There also my experiencing is taking place, but there are people and objects which are not present in the waking, we are present in the deep sleep. So when I move out of dream to waking, the person who told me that you are in dream, in the sleeping, and I am experiencing this world of dream, that person is not there when I woke up. Just as the dreamer's other third person vanished when he moved out of the dream to the waking, this third person who tells us in the waking that we are experiencing the third person and the experiential of the world, he is also vanishing to that state where I am all by myself, ekameva dvitiyam brahma. There is no second one, no the phenomenal world, no namarupa, no mind, no intellect. I do not know my individuality. I was not knowing anything. Na viduhusadi sambadhyamahe. I don't even know that I have become one with the consciousness or awareness. Because it is not something which can be knowable through us, through the mind, etc. Because the mind itself is absent in that state. So when this takes place, we are now in a state of identifying ourselves as Atman or Brahman. Therefore, the 88th verse says, Sarvam Atmataya Jnatam Jagat Stavara Jangamam Abhavat Sarva Bhavanam Dehasya Cha Atmata Kuta. Yada, just as Stavara Jangamam, the movable, Stavara means immovable, Jangamam means what is moving, Sarvam, the whole phenomenal world, Jagat, Atmataya Jnatam, when it is known as the self, that it is myself which is now becoming the waker and the waking world, or the dreamer and the dream world. That is the Atmataya Jnatam. When I know that it is my own projection, I am from not the one who is the waker. I am not the waker when I am in myself. That my being is Sat and Anandam. Satyachit Anandam, Satchid Anandam or Satyajnanam Anandam Brahma. Brahma Atmataya. When it is known that that is Atma, which is now becoming the waker and the waking world, the dreamer and the dream world. Sarva bhavanam abhavat. In that state, when I am all by myself, there is a negation or absence, abhava, of sarva bhavana, all phenomenality or experiences is becoming non-experiential. Yet at the same time, I am present there. The one who is there in the deep sleep says that I knew nothing. To such a person, dehasya atmataha kuta. How can he say that I am the deha when he is waking up and going to the waking world in the waking hours in the waking world? He cannot identify once he knows that his nature is the one where there he was non-dual, ekameva dvitiyam brahma. That was my nature. Such a person can never say that I am this body, because he doesn't identify with the body anymore. He sees that it is a phenomena of my true consciousness, which is now giving rise to the individuality I and the mind, intellect and the world of experiences of the waker or the dreamer. I am neither the waker nor the dreamer. And therefore, I have no body. And when I do not have any body, I say that I am this. I am pure Atman or Brahman. This is the Atma Brahma Aikya Sakshatkara. This is that Sakshatkara or immediate knowledge or understanding or being or knowing of our true nature, where the individuality and the whole is not separate. Ananyatvam, non-separational feeling, or ekatvam, ekameva dvitiyam feeling, that I am the one without a second. Such a state is a sakshatkara for the one who has understood this till now. So Acharya Shankara is concluding that to such a person, there is no physicality of the body. So what should such a person do? He is saying a beautiful statement in that 89th verse. Atmanam satatam janan kalam naya mahabhujute prarabdham akhilam bhunjan udvegam kartum arhasi. Oh, now he is addressing the one who has understood that I am the self, the Brahman, Atman, Brahma, Atma, Aikya, Sakshatkarat, Param. After that, to such a person, he is a Mahadyute, or the realized one. Now you are a realized person if you have understood this clearly. So he is addressing each one of us who has understood this Aparokshanubhuti till now, without any doubt, confusion or ignorance. Atmanam satatam janan. Knowing this Atma is all, the be all, the end all, that is all what is there. Satatam, ever. Janan, ever having contemplated or being, is established in that knowledge. Akhilam prarabdham bhunjan kalam naya. Akhilam prarabdham. All the prarabdha. Bhunjan means having experienced or experiencing kalam naya. Pass your time by experiencing the prarabdha for the body. If my body is to become sick and wither away and die, or if I am able to get a heart attack or die, or whether I am becoming old and die, till then that body will continue. To show that he is saying the prarabdham, akilam prarabdham naya, lead your lust of the light. Udvegam kartum na arhasi. There is no necessity for you to feel worried about the body. What will happen to my body? Will it be amputated, or will it be going through surgery, or will it have to go through old age and sickness, or will I become dementially incapable of knowing everything in this world? What will happen? Something happens to my body, to my mind, to my thing. All these things are worry of thinking that you are the body. But when you know that you are not the body is not yours. Whether you call it as a prarabdha or sanchita karma, agami karma, karma phala and everything, you are not the body, therefore it is not yours. Whatever happens to the body. So why should you have the worry about what happens to the body? Whether the body is, no, there is a verse in one of the verses by Shankaracharya. Whether it falls like a dry leaves and dies, or whether it is trampled by somebody walking on the floor, or if he is lying at the end of his life, whether he is alone and with the wind, with the cold crumbling together, or in a shape of like a worm under a tree, or in a snow-clad mountain. What happens to the body is not yours, because you don't identify with the body anymore. Whatever happens to the body is not yours. It is just as anything happening to anything outside your body, you never felt that. If somebody is stamping on a grass or a flower or an animal or a worm, you never felt the pain on yourself. So when you de-identify with the body yourself, if this body is going through any of those problems of old age or sickness or die or anything for that matter, you will have the same approach to everything what is there outside your body today. It too, your body also will be part of the outside the body today. Because you will be not identifying with this body as yours anymore. That aham iti bhava, that to that body, that I am this body, will not be there for such a person. So such a person, enlightened one, will spend that rest of the time for the body to wither away. Just as we waited for the dream to be over, for the suffering of the dream to be over, we are not even waiting for in the daytime, the body to be over. Because neither the dream body is mine, nor the waking body is mine. They are all just nothing but experiences Atman or Brahman decided to project itself as the phenomenal world. I am the phenomenal world. So there is no suffering, no pain. It is just an appearance. I have not become the world. I have not become the body. I have not become the human being. I have not become the animal. Nothing. It is all nothing but appearances. We'll continue from the verse number 90 in the Wednesday's class. I'm going to stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyavada.
Thank you very much, Binduji, for that deep interpretation of the Chandogya Upanishad phrase, which I forgot to remind people. But anyway, it's in the chat if you want to go read it and do the Sravana Manana with the today's session, which unpacks a lot of what Binduji was talking about the Dvaita, the non-dual state. The chat is open. Let me open up the hand raising, and if anyone has a question, you're welcome to come up and ask the question. Looks like there are no
Looks like
questions,
nobody's
Binduji.
there. Yeah,
But
we can close, I think.
can I ask one question, Binduji?
Go ahead, please.
This in Chandogya Upanishad, not the 6-1, but there's a narration of Kuddalaka trying to advise Svetaketu about the precautious nature of having understood something with examples. I just wanted you to go through it once before we close the room.
Verse number? Mantra number?
I forget the mantra number. It's about the salt in the water, the metaphor of putting the salt in the water.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll go through that, and in the next class I'll explain that. I'll take the mantra and explain it.
Okay. So we can then close it. Yeah. Thanks everyone for coming. Our next session. Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
Our next session is on Wednesday, 6:30 a.m. IST. Hope to see you all there, and please follow through with the earlier sessions, so that you can catch up and be with what Binduji is referring to. Thank you, Binduji.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you all for attending. We'll see you on Wednesday with the balance from Aparokshanubhuti. If you have any questions, please do come up and ask. Hari Om. Namaste.
Namaste. Hari Om.